Hi, it's Everett, Everett's Watercolors. Welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to do a broadcast live to LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and later on to Twitch, and also later on to Instagram or into Instagram. In my studio today with my wife Gloria.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back from holiday seasons, and I hope you're comfortable and nice and warm. Uh, I'm going to be putting a painting out today, and I'm going to do a demonstration. And I'm going to be doing a little winter scene with some evergreen trees, and I think I'll show you some different techniques on how to do that. So let me go over to my painting table and let me get started up. There. All right. Here's my reference photograph here. I picked this off the internet. You can see all the snowy trees here, the evergreens, with lots of snow on the ground. So we don't have any snow here, but this is what I like to see someday. I just love the snow. Uh, and that's kind of give me a reference. Just give me some ideas. You can see there's some trees in the foreground. I like this tree here on the left. I think I'll use that as one of my areas. You can see the trees in the background they get smaller, and they also lose a little bit of identity. They get fainter as you go back in the background. So I'm going to do that today. I'll show you how to do that. Now here's another example. Now here's an example of what not to do. Don't have your trees all lined up in line like this. That's really a bad composition. Even though the trees are beautiful and they're all nice shapes and everything, but they're all the same. Very boring. So we're going to use something like this. And let me go to my design drawing. So what I did, I took some of the information here off this photograph, and I came up with my own design. And this area here, I'm going to have a large tree here in this area. This will probably be my impact area or my focal point. And I got some trees across the area. So this is kind of my design sketch that I'm going to use today. Uh, forget the photograph. I'm going to be painting from this design right here. The photograph reference just gives me some ideas of how things look. Let me move this aside. So I've taken my design, I put it here on my watercolor paper. This is a quarter sheet, which measures 15 inches long and 11 inches wide. And it's Gemini watercolor paper, 140-pound cold press, archival, very good paper. And it's available on my website, everestwatercolors.com. And over here on my palette, I'm going to use a very limited palette today. I'm going to use ultramarine blue up here at the top, and a little bit of yellow lemon here in the corner. I'm going to mix up my own greens. I'm not going to use the green at all in the palette. I'm going to mix it up here with the blue and the yellow and come up with my green mixture right here. And I'll put a little bit of this and crimson maybe to give me a variation in the blues, give me a variation in the color. I got Payne's gray over here to add a little bit of gray if I need it. And that's about it. I got burnt sienna here at the bottom middle. And I don't know if I'll need that at all. So really limited palette. And my brushes, I'm going to use number 16 round Holbein synthetic brush. It holds lots of water and it gives me a nice fine point. That's an 16 round Holbein watercolor brush, synthetic. And also got a number 8 round synthetic Holbein. I'll use that for little details. Okay. Yeah, I may use another couple brushes when I get down to the background, but right now we're going to. So the first thing I'm going to do is mix up some color. Uh, Let's say I'm going to mix up my own greens. So I'm going to wet the palette with a little bit of water. I'm going to use a little bit of ultramarine blue. Start off with that. Rinse out the brush. And then I'm going to pick up some little bit of yellow lemon. Mix up a little bit of green in there, and I'll get the color I want. Load up the brush on the side. A little more paint on the brush. A little more yellow. A little more yellow. Okay, so this first tree here I'm going to have on the left side. I'm going to go ahead and start at the top. So evergreen trees have a very distinctive silhouette. They have it's kind of sharp points on the side. So I'll have those. And then I'm going to leave. What I'm going to do? How I'm going to paint the snow? I'm going to paint negative painting, which means I'm going to paint around the snow area and leave the white paper. So I'm going to avoid using any white paint. I have white paint on my palette, but I'm not going to use that to indicate the snow. So I'm going to put my brush strokes here just to give me indication of snow. So I'm just right now I'm playing with a little bit, get a little bit warmed up here with the brush work. So I'm going to slow. This is a small area up here, just getting started. And every time I go down the palette, I'm picking up a different color. Pick a little more yellow, maybe a little more blue, but I'm kind of changing the value and the color as I go along. And as I come down, I'm designing the patterns here of the tree, but I'm also leaving white paper here for the snow that's on the limbs. So I'm leaving the white paper to indicate the snow. So I don't need white paint or anything like that. So a little bit of negative painting around the shape, and this is the largest tree of my design. So it's going to take a little more, and it's also the most important tree. I've chosen this as my focal point. So this is going to be the biggest tree. I'm going to take a little more time on painting this. It's my focal point, which will have the most attention on. And also on this with this brush, I'm also getting the edges here to show the roughness, the texture of the tree. And then on the inside here, I'm leaving the white paper to show the location of the snow on the limbs of the tree. A little more space here. So kind of I'm varying the shapes. Vary the shapes as I go, make them, some of them larger, some of them smaller. I might go in a little bit later here, take this down and put a little more. Right now it's just kind of putting a base coat in. I'm just getting the design started here. Bring that top up a little bit more, just make it nice and thin. It's these kind of trees, evergreen trees, are kind of symmetrical. They're like a cylinder or like a cone shape, but also almost like a pyramid. You got a pyramidal shape, but because they're round, they got a conal shape. So that's the overall shape of a evergreen tree. It's a cone shape with. If you look at the silhouette, it looks almost like a triangle. I mean, let's see, a nice big tree. I'm going to come right on down here to the bottom here, and I'm going to put in a little more branches down here at the bottom. A lot of snow on this tree, so I'm going to leave a lot of white paper for right now. I may add some more greens in there after I get this started. So this is just to get it started. Okay, now I'm going to move over here to the right of that, and I'm going to pick up a little more blue now. I'm changing the color and making a little more blue to my mix. And a little water dropped on the paper. That's okay. A little bit darker. Bit darker blue. And over here, now this tree this tree to the side now, I'm going to start here, same kind of approach, but I'm going to do a little bit differently now. Just going to have a little bit, it's a bluish color. And it doesn't have, because it's further, but you don't have as much detail on this one. Just going to see the silhouette of this tree. The basic shape. Load up that brush. It's a beautiful blue. It's ultramarine blue. It's got a beautiful color to it. It stands out, but it'll be nice little contrast against this green. And also I'm painting around those limbs here so that they show off a little bit. I'm not going to show much. There's not going to be much snow showing on this one. Just going to more of a silhouette of an evergreen. Now coming on down here. So I changed the color. I made the colors again. You know, when you do a painting, you don't have to follow the colors. You don't have to. I'm using colors that I like, blues and greens and so forth. Now add some more paint on this one when I get this one done. And I'm also watching the edge here. I'm dragging the brush a little bit to give me that rough edge on the bottom of these branches. Make it look like an evergreen tree with rough branches. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to start with a lighter blue. Now again, I'm going to head back into the background. So now I'm going to start with a lighter blue. So add water to the blue color, and then I'm going to go in here now and put this a smaller evergreen. It's going backward. I'm going back, and it's also a little bit lighter in value as I go back. So like a little lighter color. It's going to be a little blue, a little bluish here. So making these trees, you know, as far as perspective, aerial perspective, as you go into the background, things start to get a little bit bluer. The color starts to fade, and the colors get a little bit cooler. So I'm kind of really emphasizing that today. I'm building these branches now, and just to get it started, again, just kind of putting the base value in there. Okay, well, I got that one. It's kind of finished. Now behind that, now I'm going to put another tree in here in between. Now what I'm going to do is add a little bit of quinacridone violet to that. I'm going to warm that up just slightly. I'm going to put a little bit of another color. It'll be like a blue purple. Again, I'm making a change to the color. And this is going to be like a silhouetted against the sky. So you notice here in this painting today, when I paint evergreen, I'm not using evergreen colors for my composition. I'm using different colors. I'm using blues, and I'm using purple, of course, greens. I can get a nice variety of different colors. I'm putting this one here behind this tree here, kind of intermediate. I'll come on down a little further. About right there, okay. Okay, now even further back now, I'm gonna even get lighter. I'm gonna go back to the blue now. This is gonna be kind of a cool blue. And I'm going to go back and put another tree in here. These are the ones way off in the background. Behind that one. Okay. Now we'll start with, get another blue one now. Using that blue again. I go back, I'm going to make one similar to this, make it just a little bit taller, I think. Not as tall, but make up here. Putting the base coat in. This will be another little blue tree. Yeah, we'll go back to more of that purple. This is going to be a lighter purple now. Take that quinacridone violet, mix it in with that blue, it gives me a bluish purple. And put that one in here. Just keeping the silhouette. I'm using the tip of the brush here. This is why I'm using a round brush, because it's easier to make those marks, small marks with the points. Now I'll take another very light blue, very light blue. So take that blue in my mix here, add a lot of water to it. Make it real light. I'm going to put another tree back in here. This will be in the background, so it's going to be very light. It's going to be blue, a bluish color, but it's going to be very light. Just concentrating or focusing on the edge and the silhouette. Not really worrying about too much detail. Okay. Over here, I think I'm going to put a little shadow in here between these two trees. I'm going to put another little light blue in here. Again, give it a little more interest. That there's another tree behind here. Then over here, I'm going to go back to that blue again. I'm going to put the blue over here. Working on the silhouette. This will be light blue next to this green. So as I said, my technique here is I'm painting the snow as a negative painting. I'm leaving a white paper between the branches or on top of the branches. I'm painting branches around them or under them and beneath them, and leaving the white paper to indicate the snow. And that's negative painting. I'm painting around the white shape. Come on down here to the ground. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to put one more. The last one I'll put in is there's another little faint. I'm going to put another little faint one back here. really light blue. I put a lot of water in that blue and make it very light. This is just a silhouette back here. And there might be one over here on this side, just fill in the paper a little bit. Okay, let's see if I got most of my shapes in there. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to go back in and put a little more definition in some of the branches. So here I'm going to take that ultramarine blue and I'll mix it in with that yellow lemon. A little darker mix. Now I'm going to take the smaller brush now, and I'll go in here, load that up with some color. Now I'm going to go in here now and put a little more definition, or a little darker sections in here in the middle of this tree. Give some dimension. See. So I'm adding a little more dark area, shadows underneath the branches. Underneath the snow. Kind of define that snow a little more by putting a little darker value next to that white. Values make a painting become a little more defined. You put more value, more darker value next to that white. Makes the white become a little more prominent. Down at the bottom is a shadow because of the bottom of the tree here. A little darker down here. Okay, I pretty well leave this blue one alone. I'm not going to touch that one. And maybe I'll pick up a little more. Now I'm going to go into the blue now and put a little darker color over here on this tree. Picking up more. I'm putting more blue now. I'm putting a shadow here next to the edge of the snow on the branches. A little more definition there. A little more shadow. A little more. Define those branches a little more. Just define them a little bit better, with a little darker value underneath. Okay. And this little tree over here, also I got another little blue one over here. Just now, not as much. And I'll put some darker, but not as much as the other tree. This is on the edge of the painting. Don't want too much attention over here. Just the idea. I want to finish it off. Give a little more detail on the shadows. There's a purple tree. I'm going to put a little more, again, just a couple of marks on this one, give a little more detail. Maybe this one back here. Okay. you can see I've got quite a colorful bunch of trees there. I've got greens and blues and purples, and I think it became very very distinct. And let's see. I might do a little more touch up, even more. Let's see. I might go back in some more and do some more touching up. I got plenty of this green now with the yellow and the blue. Ultramarine blue and lemon yellow gives me a nice beautiful green. Add some little more touch, a little more detail to the snow and to the branches, a little more definition. Edge is very important. Edge. Definition, edge of an object identifies its subject. This blue one here, I can put a little more definition here. Not too much on the edge, just touching those branches a little bit, give them a little more shape. And this little blue tree here, it's coming along pretty good. I like this one. This one come out pretty good, very good. Okay, and this little one over here. Again, just touching up the edges a little bit to give it the silhouette that I'm looking for of an evergreen tree, and then a little bit of shadow under the snow on the limbs. Okay, now to finish this off, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little background to this. Now the background, I'm going to put a very simple on the sky. It's a snowy day, so it's going to have a gray sky. So I'm going to use two more brushes now. I'm going to use the middle-size Hake brush and the number 1 round Holbein, number 1 flat, 1-inch flat Holbein synthetic brush. This Hake brush is a natural hair. It's got goat hair in it, but boy, it's very nice. It holds a lot of water. So I'm going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and just wet the sky, which I like to do on a larger sheet of paper like this. Wet the sky a little bit. It helps the paint flow. So I'll wet the sky around the top of these trees, sky area. Okay, that's wet. And I'm going to mix up, now here's where I will use a little bit of brown. I'll use a little bit of burnt sienna here, mixed in a little bit of that ultramarine blue. That'll give me a brown color. Or a gray color, I'm looking for gray. A light gray. A light gray mixture. Then I'll go up here in the sky. I'll go across here and I'm going to make, I'll leave some white, maybe some white areas to show, maybe, not clouds, but maybe cloud formations up here. It's kind of an overcast day with snow on the ground. So a light gray sky behind the trees over here. Don't want to touch the trees at all, leave them alone, just paint around them. I'll put another little darker layer there to maybe show a variation in the sky. Now I want to go around now and kind of just plain water in the brush, give a nice soft edge around the trees. Soften the edge so we don't have a hard edge. Just with a damp brush. While the paint's still damp, it's easy to add water lightly. Well, I got a little bit of that darker gray here. Kind of go in there and put some marks into the sky. Give a little variety up there. Okay, and the same thing down at the bottom here. I'm going to put just a little bit of, or wet the paper a little bit with the Hake. Re-wet the paper. Then I'm going to mix up. Now I'm going to mix a little more blue in with that gray. I want a bluish gray. A little bit more blue into that. And put that down here at the bottom. And this will be like shadows on the snow. The snow color will be like a bluish gray. And I'll take just a little bit more pigment in the brush, and then add some shadows across the snow. Maybe some back here with these maybe trees on the side, casting shadows. Okay. Okay, let's put a mat around it. Let's put the mat around, finish this off. Put a mat around it. Yeah, see a question up here. So the blue being used as underpainting. Well, I did a blue as my primary, one of my primary colors here on the tree, but the blue was used just to give it a different color because the trees are also reflecting on the snow. You got the gray sky, and I have this blue in the trees. So the blue in the snow is a reflection of the sky and also the tree tree colors. So I want to tie in the snow with the trees. So a gray sky with a bluish gray on the bottom for the shadow pattern. Okay. All right. Well, that's my painting finish today of evergreens in the snow. So let's go to my main camera. Hey. All right. Well, that was a fun exercise today. I wanted to do something for the Christmas season, the New Year's season, and I just wanted to work a little bit with the snow. And I thought, no, evergreen trees with snow would be something to show, be interesting. But also I did a negative painting technique. I painted around the white paper to put the shape of the tree and branches in, and left the white paper there to show or indicate the snow. Which made it a pretty easy painting to do, rather than add another color to my palette and mess around with white paint. So, and also I made make sure I had a different shape of every tree. I also made different colors of every tree. So that kind of made a more interesting painting. Always trying to do something different and something more exciting when you do a painting. That's really what the object here. So I'm going to be back again next week. Give me a thumbs up or a like. It helps with my rating. And I'll be back again next week on Thursday. It'll be a new year coming up. So the weather's cold out there. You all stay warm. Stay safe. And I'll see you on the next live. Oh, yeah, I got to remind you. I'll be doing... later on today, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be simply drawing with Everett. And then on the weekends, I do a release on Sunday of Anyone Can Draw with One Line Only. Now, if you're subscribed to this channel, you'll get a notification of those live broadcasts. So until I see you the next time, you all take care and stay safe.